KDAK, Carrington, and FM 100.1, K261EW, Carrington, locally owned and operated by I3G Media.
It's time to find out what's going on in Carrington Cardinals athletics on the Carrington Coaches Show on KDAK The Cardinal and the KDAK The Cardinal YouTube page. The Carrington Coaches Show takes you behind the scenes of all things Cardinal athletics. Now, live from the Prairie Inn in Carrington, here is BJ Walters.
And welcome inside the Prairie Inn Restaurant and Bakery here in Carrington. One more time for this school year. It is the Carrington Coaches Show, and it is a mega show. It is not just a show, it is a mega show tonight. 2 hours, not just 1 hour tonight. We're going until 8. Of course, they are open until 9, and they're special. I think they knew I was coming, because their special for the day is the pizza dippers. Oh. And there is nothing I like more than the pizza dippers here. Although their omelet special, a Philly cheesesteak omelet, their sandwich special, breaded chicken, bacon, and Swiss on a bun, and their evening special, my goodness, a breaded coconut shrimp dinner. Holy smokes. All right, I can't do that anymore or I'm going to get way distracted. Tonight, what do we have? We have Athletics Director Carla Michelson joining us. We have 2 student athletes joining us, including one over the phone after a huge win today. We will get to that later, but you're going to want to stick around to hear about it. We'll talk track and field. We're even going to talk boys golf. We haven't talked a lot about that in the spring. We're going to do that. And with a look ahead to the future, Caden Merring is going to stop by, the new volleyball coach of the Carrington Cardinals. But we're starting the show with Carrington baseball head coach Wayne Shipman after a tough one north of here a couple of hours ago, 13-1 in 6 innings. And head coach Wayne Shipman joining us. I mean, coach, that was an important game. We talked about in pregame how it was probably more important to New Rockford, and boy, Thomas Almaris got the point. 5 for 5, 2 doubles, a triple, 2 singles, 4 runs scored. I mean, New Rockford Cheyenne was very good today.
Yeah, they played well. They hit the ball, put the ball in play, evidently then scored some runs. So, Tate, I thought Tate pitched well. I think it was the 5th inning when I took him out. Went out to take him out, and he was kind of down on himself. And I'm just like, why are you down on yourself? You pitched well. I said, this could very well be 0-0 right now. We just need to make some plays, and this game's still 0-0. So, you did your job. Don't be so down on yourself.
I'm glad you mentioned that because it's something that I noticed today, and I haven't seen it all year, even though it's not, been a year like last year where you were just run-ruling people for parts of the season. For the first time today, I saw the team pressing, and you could see it at the plate, but I really saw it, and I don't mean to point anybody out in particular. We just know how good he is. When Josh came in to pitch, it seemed he was really pressing. So the dirty little secret in coaching baseball is that you're part-time psychologist.
Right.
And it's not something where you hope you can avoid it for a season. It's coming whether you're ready or not. How do you get the guys to not press so much? And I know it's hard because I'm around these guys. These are competitive teenagers you've got.
Yeah, they're competitive. I think, yeah, it's a good thing I didn't go into psychology because I probably wouldn't have had a job for very long. Yeah, they press. After the game today, we talked about, their swings, how they're just they just swing way too hard, to put it simple. They don't have a controlled swing. It's just when they swing, it's hard. They aren't adjusting well to the off-speed pitches. They'll swing and miss it by a foot. That tells me they're not seeing the ball very well. But yeah, Rick and I talked to him after the game about controlled swings. It's not how hard you swing. It's how you put the bat on the ball. But you mentioned Thomas Almaris. You watch him swing. He's not swinging that hard, and he's hitting the ball down the line in the gaps for doubles, things like that. And you gotta, as a player on the other team, you should see those kind of things and think, oh, maybe I need to back off a little and put the ball in play. Like we credited some of our younger kids today in the JV game for putting the ball in play every time they batted, and I mean, that's half the battle. I mean, with the young kids, to me, it's, are you doing things right? It's not necessarily the success yet. Did you get a hit? I mean, obviously everyone wants to get a hit, but you put the ball in play, you put it in play hard. When you get older and you're stronger, that's probably going to be a hit because you're bigger, faster, stronger. But when you're younger, being able to do the things right, the strength will come along. Your sophomore maybe, but mainly your junior, senior year, you'll be much stronger and you'll have a lot more success.
Head coach Wayne Shipman joining us after the Cardinals fall today. The other part of this that's so fascinating is you and Rick have coached this game long enough. You've seen the highs, you've seen the lows, you've seen everything in between pretty much. For the kids, when you are as competitive as they are, and I think if you took them out to a restaurant, they'd get upset because one guy got a bigger chicken leg than the other one. I mean, that's how competitive they are. It can build and build a little more quickly than those guys who just take the ebbs and flows, and that's really hard on them.
Yeah, it is. Uh, One thing I know we talked about too is, and we've talked about it many times, is in the field, before the pitch is thrown, you need to know what you're doing with the ball when it comes to you. Whether it's to your left, your right, you got to charge it, go back on a ball. You should already know where you're throwing a ball on every one of those situations. And today we had one, I won't point it out, but the guy threw it to first base like there was nobody on base, and there was two other plays before that one that should have been made, and that just tells me that they're not in the game mentally, and that's got to be the first step to getting better, is getting our head in the game all the time so that you can have a chance to make the correct plays.
So, okay, let's turn to the positives of this year.
Yep.
When we sat here in late March, you said, "Look, there's a lot of guys you've never heard of who are going to be starters," and James Rao was one of them. And I thought Leighton Savageau played a pretty good right field today. Um, how have you seen the growth of a James Rao, who's I keep saying it like this just to drive home the point. He has 0 high school credits right now. He does not have a single high school credit, and he's your starting designated hitter. And you can kind of tell that he's getting comfortable out there at the plate.
Yeah, since day one, he hasn't been intimidated at all. He gets up there, he gets his hacks, and he struggled right off the bat, but after about 3, 4 games, he puts the ball in play nearly every time, and most of the time it's fairly hard. Yeah, he's done a real good job hitting the ball. We just find the place in the field for him where he's comfortable, and to his credit, he was mostly an infielder growing up, but we tried him in right field, and in time he'll be good out there, but for now, he's DHing. We put Leighton out and right, and he makes the plays that come to him. So that's probably how we're going to have to roll until somebody else shows us something different, I guess.
I will say this: you warned us about this in March, and boy, were you right. Jamison Coots plays the heck out of first base.
Yeah, he's a good first baseman. He can pick the ball, save infielders some runs, and that's basically what I've told him, or Rick and I both have told him, is what makes a good first baseman? Well, a good first baseman saves your infielders when they have a bad throw, as long as it's something you can make the play on. And he does that more times than not. He'll get a tough short hop or a long hop that's tough to catch, and he makes the play. So, yeah, he's done a great job. And one good thing about that, he's only a freshman, so 3 more years of that will be a comforting feeling over there at first base.
Certainly. Well, and I mean, when you know you've got that kind of first baseman, you're not worried about skipping it because you know he's
Right.
got you.
Yeah, and if you play on good fields, honestly, the tougher plays, they kind of teach you to throw the ball as a hop,
Yep.
versus overthrowing it and then it's in the dugout or off the fence and they're on second for sure. At least the first baseman's got a chance to catch it or knock it down.
All right, so tomorrow it is South Border in Wishook, 4:15 airtime. David Burrell will have that one for you on KDAK, the Cardinal. You told us earlier today we have to win one of the next two. Well, the margin for error has shrunk,
Yep.
but you still have to win one of the next two.
Right. Yeah, we need to win one of the next two. It'd be really good if we won two of the next two, or
The last
region
two in
games,
region
last two
game, yeah.
region games. Yeah, South Border, that won't be no picnic tomorrow. I mean, they're a decent team, but if we play good D, get a good pitching performance, Jacob Basons will start the game pitching, and we'll go from there. But what'd be good? We're going to be the visitor, so it'd be nice if we got down there tomorrow and we threw a couple runs on the board right away to kind of relax and get in the flow of the game. After the game, the JV game, we always meet out there in the left or right field, depending on the dugout. And basically all I told them was you have one assignment for tomorrow. And that's when you come to the game tomorrow, figure out how to have fun. Just play loose and have fun. Whatever happens, happens.
I'm just looking back at this because I don't want to say something that's not true, but you guys have not scored a top of the first inning run this year.
Oh, yeah, I guess I haven't paid that much close attention, but yeah, that's probably, oh, that'll change tomorrow.
Yeah, it will. And I'm glad you bring that up because this is a hard game. The greatest ever to do it fail 7 out of 10 times. They just do. If you're not having fun, it becomes an impossible sport.
Oh, exactly. And that's just about any sport you play. If you're not having fun, it's going to be hard to do well. If you start thinking about all the tough things that have happened to you, then it's not going to get any better soon. You got to be able to play the next play. The last one's over. There's nothing you can do about it, good or bad. Make the next play, get the next hit, or whatever it is. You just got to move forward, and it's 0-0 every time you go up to the plate. You're 0 for 0.
And I know you've said that you want to avoid that play-in game. That's the goal. But even if you have to play in it, does it put you at a little disadvantage? Sure, but Lemoore was in it last year, and they still made a regional final.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, it's a disadvantage only if you win, lose, because
Right.
you've used two pitchers and you're back where you were when you played that first game. So, if you win that first game, you got to win that second game, which would be against Lemoore then. But that'd be all right. And you give the number one team a loss already, proves your chances of moving on out of the regional tournament.
Certainly does. And so the remaining schedule, you've got South Border tomorrow. Friday, you've got the two games in Thompson. We'll have live video right here on the YouTube channel for that. Then Monday at home in New Rockford against Kidder County, and Tuesday in Tolna against Nelson County Midkota. And I was just looking at it just yesterday. My goodness, when it picks up, it really picks up, and now it's just about done.
Yeah, it's gone fast. I mean, we always say once the games start rolling where you don't have a game and then two rainouts or weather outs. But the last couple of weeks, we've been able to roll ever since we had the Jamboree up in New Rockford. We've been rolling right along. It seems like the bats are starting to get the ball and play a little better. But if we can get our top 5, 6 guys hitting the ball hard, that'll make it a lot easier on the 7, 8, and 9 hitters to not have to feel like there's so much pressure on them as well. So
Certainly will. Tomorrow, 4:15 airtime, the Cardinals and the South Border Mustangs in Wishook. We have played this team since I got to Carrington 4 times. I've still never been to the field in Wishook, and I won't be going tomorrow
oh,
because we played them in Ashley,
oh yeah,
and then we played them in the regional tournament, and then in Legion, and we didn't go to Wishook either. And now tomorrow, I'm missing a trip to
it's a
Wishook.
decent
So
field. It's kind of nice.
I've heard that the media area is really nice. So yeah,
I guess I don't know. I don't remember.
we'll see what kind of digs David gets tomorrow.
Yeah,
But Coach, thanks for stopping
you
by
bet.
and good luck tomorrow.
All right, thank you very much.
That is Carrington head baseball coach Wayne Shipman joining us. His junior catcher will join us when we come back. Max Whitman coming off of a multi-hit game earlier today. He'll join us when the Carrington Coaches Show continues in a moment.
There's no community like a Cenex community. That's why every Cenex store is proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Visit your local Arrowwood Prairie Co-op in Carrington, Wimbledon, Cooperstown, and Sutton.
Carrington sports fans, want to stay on top of all the local action? Catch what you missed by checking out the Foster County Independent. From game-changing plays to memorable moments, we've got you covered with the most in-depth sports coverage in town. And don't miss our stunning photo galleries that capture every thrilling moment and winning smile. For the latest scores, stories, and stunning sports shots, grab your copy of the Foster County Independent today or visit us online at fosterconews.com.
Do you want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children from the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at www.dakotacentral.com.
Effortlessly manage your farm fertility with Verify. Verify takes yield data directly from your combine and instantly generates variable rate fertility maps based on your nutritional goals. Whether it's building soil, balancing nutrition, or maintaining fertility. And with full integration with John Deere Operations Center, Verify can send recommendations directly to application equipment, no matter the color. For more information on Verify, talk to your hefty agronomist and keep your farm moving.
When you're thinking about insurance, think of Bickett Insurance. Bickett Insurance, through our partnership with Auto Owners Insurance, can take care of your farm, home, auto, business, or life insurance needs. The agents at Bickett Insurance have over 115 years of insurance experience. We know how to design policies to protect the things important to you. Give Bickett Insurance a call today.
Bickett Safety.
Is it time for you to switch banks? Hi, I'm Tiffany Paulson from Bank Forward in Carrington. At Bank Forward, we have everything you get from a big bank, but small enough to give you exceptional service. Make the switch and let us show you the Bank Forward difference. Call 652-2852 or visit bankforward.com today. Putting the customer first since 1927. It's simply the Forward way. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
Carrington Coaches Show here at Prairie Inn Restaurant and Bakery. We still, maybe I should English better. I am on the radio. My gosh, that was bad. Restaurant and Bakery. We still have new volleyball head coach Caden Maring coming up. We've also got Brady Smith and Bryn Smith coming up in hour 2 over the phone from McVille. But right now we're being joined by Carrington Junior catcher Max Whitman. Max had another good day at the plate today. He was 2 for 3 with a double, and he's currently hitting .444 with a .639 slugging percentage. I won't keep going or it'll really make Max happy, but Max, I know it wasn't the team result you guys wanted, but congratulations on the good individual game today. How did all of this happen? Like last year you were a nice 6-7 hole hitter, and now you lead the team in slugging, lead the team in OPS, lead the team in batting up. How did all of this happen?
I think it's just I think I just got a little smarter at the plate. I don't really like watching fastballs in the strike zone, I'd say. I like jumping on those pitches. I think I got a lot stronger during the off season this last year, so I think that helps a ton as well. So.
And that's something that you can talk to these younger players about because they're not even close to being juniors yet. I mean, James Rao is an 8th grader, for goodness sake. You can talk to him about, hey, just stay with it. You get to your junior, senior year, you will get stronger. And some of those, as Coach Shipman was just talking about, some of those swings will be hits.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's always, I try to keep the younger guys, try to keep their morale good because, some of them are hitting the ball fine. They're just outs. But as long as you're putting the bat on the ball, they'll start falling eventually. So just keep at it,
It's a frustrating game, isn't it? I mean, you can hit, I think it was Talon hit the line drive right at Olmerus earlier today. And then you get a bloop that has nothing exit velocity-wise, and it'll drop. It's a frustrating sport.
It's kind of crazy. Sometimes I'll just smash a ball. It'll be right to a guy, and then you'll just barely touch one, it'll be right over the first baseman's head or something stupid like that.
And that's exactly what baseball players think of that.
Yeah.
They think it's stupid.
Yeah.
100%. Max Whitman joining us. I want to ask you about, you're a multi-sport athlete, but it's not like anyone else in Carrington because you are a hockey player for the Blue Jays. You got darn close to state this year. How does playing hockey help you in baseball? Because I would think those are the two most important sports in terms of hand-eye coordination.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd say it's such like a physically demanding sport, so it really helps me stay active during the winter. So that's always great. And of course, like you're going up against these big dudes, so you kind of got to learn to get a little stronger, hold your own. So that'll definitely help for baseball as well.
How different is the conditioning for the two? Are there any similarities?
Not at all. No. Hockey's just lots of skating, lots of push-ups, lots of all this other stuff. Baseball is just, oh, we're running the bases today, or oh, run to the fence and back. It's really not that similar, I'd say.
So you guys, as a team, speaking of running, 30 stolen bases in 33 attempts. You're a catcher, so you can probably speak to this. That is a really impressive number, and it tells you that you guys as base runners know how to read a pitcher.
Oh yeah, for sure. As long as you get a good jump, I mean, a lot of our guys got good enough speed. I mean, as long as they get a good jump, it's probably going to be close or they're going to be there. So,
At what point did you know you were the guy this year? Because I know the kind of kid Corbin is. You can tell him, hey, you're not going to play, and he'll say, watch me.
yeah.
Was there a point where you kind of had that snap into reality that this was going to be your job this year?
Yeah, I'd say it was when we were trying to get Corbin to play and he just wasn't budging. I mean, that's whatever, but yeah, and then we'd look around and be like, "Oh, who else would catch?" And that's I don't know, I've always kind of caught, so I kind of figured it would just be me.
And the other catcher is actually the guy that catches you when you're pitching. How much are you and Tate sort of sharing ideas, or does he come to you for help on technique and things of that nature?
I'd say he's a lot more like pitcher savvy, I guess. So for something like that, I'll be like, "Oh, what am I doing? Why do I keep throwing it here when I'm on the mound or whatever?" And he'll be like, "Oh, bend your back more or stride more or something like that." Whereas catching, it's like he'll ask me like, "Oh, how do I like frame this pitch like a low one?" You kind of want to start your glove low and come up instead of starting up, coming down and then up because that's not going to look great. But
That's a new phenomenon in baseball over the last 5-10 years, framing pitches.
mhm.
I know you've been a catcher most of your life, if not your whole baseball career. At what point did you have to start learning how to properly frame pitches?
I'd say probably when I was about like 10, 11. I saw it being done in the majors, so I was like, "Oh, I might as well try that." So I would just frame everything, even if it wasn't close. I just still put it in the zone, see if I get the call or not.
They can't say yes if you don't try, right? I mean,
Exactly,
they can't give you an
exactly.
answer if you don't ask the question. Max Whitman joining us, the junior catcher for the Cardinals. What have you seen from your teammates this year? It's a much different team than it was last year. It's a much younger team than it was last year.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say these younger guys, they're stepping up. I mean, we'll get in our groove eventually here. I mean, as long as we just keep at it during practice, we'll start making those plays during the games. We'll start hitting balls. Well, I'd say we've been hitting the ball. They'll start falling eventually. We'll start to get some luck here.
Yeah, with all the bad luck you guys have had, you've got to be due for a good luck day.
Yeah,
I mean, you
for
just
sure.
do. What about your pitching? Because you came in against Mayport, it was a struggle. Then Friday, I thought it was really interesting. You came in, walked the first two, and then you really settled in. What clicked?
I think I just wasn't striding properly. I'd say I wasn't getting low enough when I was throwing, or my release point was just bad. I wasn't bending my back enough. It was kind of just a mechanic thing because I was throwing the ball straight. It was just high every time. So I settled in eventually, and then it was fine. But
Yeah, you ended up pitching a pretty good couple of innings. How did your arm feel after after pitching, an extended period. The other game, I think you had only faced 3 batters, and that was enough. How'd you feel after that extended outing?
I couldn't say my arm felt great. Threw some ibuprofen in my body and just toughed it out, I guess. It wasn't terrible, so.
Yeah, now you guys have 5 regular season games left. 2 of them are big region games. How important is it for you guys to not have to play next Thursday by winning these last 2 region games?
Oh, I'd say it's probably the most important part of the season up to this point because I really don't want to be in that playing game. I mean, if we win these next 2, we're looking probably at, 2, 3 seeds, something like that, if everything goes right for us.
Yep.
So that'd be really nice to see some home field advantage at regionals.
Yeah, what's it been like having a home away from home this year in New Rockford?
It's definitely weird. It's definitely weird. I mean, I like our field in Carrington a lot, so playing there, being the home team, it kind of just feels a little off, but I mean, we're getting used to it, so it'll be fine, but
And you guys, I mean, the kids take the rivalry pretty seriously around here, so I'm sure when you're the home team in New Rockford, you kind of got to shake it off and say, that does not seem right.
oh yeah, for sure. It's definitely weird going up there, being in the away dugout, but being the home team, but playing them on their field. I don't know. It's kind of it's a little weird phenomenon, but
I
it's
would
whatever.
say
I mean,
so.
it's better than not playing any games, I guess.
I
Or
would
just
say
playing all
so.
of them like 2 hours away or whatever. So
Yeah, I mean, that does beat that option. So, last question for you. As we mentioned, you catch Tate, and last year he was a guy who was just effectively wild. This year, even the game today, like Coach Shipman said, he didn't throw a bad game. His velocity is a lot better. Where do you see the improvement from Tate? Because you are the one catching him.
I'd say, yeah, he definitely got a lot stronger this last year, gained a little bit of weight. His control has gotten a lot better too. I think he's just not trying to just whip it as hard as he can every time. He's gotten a lot stronger, so the velocity is just going to be there. So I think he's just more worried about his location other than just chucking it in there as hard as he can.
Well, Max, congratulations on your season to this point. Keep it up, and we'll see you Friday in Thompson.
Perfect. Thank you.
Max Whitman, the junior catcher for Carrington baseball. And when we come back, we'll switch gears and talk track and field with April Burnson. And we will do that when the Carrington Coaches Show continues in a moment.
There's no community like a Cenex community. That's why every Cenex store is proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Visit your local Arrowwood Prairie Co-op in Carrington, Wimbledon, Cooperstown, and Sutton.
Sports fans want to stay on top of all the local action? Catch what you missed by checking out the Foster County Independent. From game-changing plays to memorable moments, we've got you covered with the most in-depth sports coverage in town. And don't miss our stunning photo galleries that capture every thrilling moment and winning smile. For the latest scores, stories, and stunning sports shots, grab your copy of the Foster County Independent today or visit us online at fosterconews.com.
Do you want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children from the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at www.dakotacentral.com.
Effortlessly manage your farm fertility with Verify. Verify takes yield data directly from your combine and instantly generates variable rate fertility maps based on your nutritional goals. Whether it's building soil, balancing nutrition, or maintaining fertility. And with full integration with John Deere Operations Center, Verify send recommendations to application equipment. Or the color. For more information on Verify, talk to your hefty agronomist and keep your farm moving.
When you're thinking about insurance, think of Bickett Insurance. Bickett Insurance, through our partnership with Auto Owners Insurance, can take care of your farm, home, auto, business, or life insurance needs. The agents at Bickett Insurance have over 115 years of insurance experience. We know how to design policies to protect the things important to you. Give Bickett Insurance a call today. That again, Bickett, see.
Is it time for you to switch banks? Hi, I'm Tiffany Paulson from Bank Forward in Carrington. At Bank Forward, we have everything you get from a big bank, but small enough to give you exceptional service. Make the switch and let us show you the Bank Forward difference. Call 652-2852 or visit bankforward.com today. Putting the customer first since 1927. It's simply the forward way. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
It is the Carrington Coaches Show at Prairie Inn Restaurant and Bakery. Still so much to do tonight. We've got the new head coach of Carrington Volleyball, who is not really a new name for anyone, joining us in the second hour. Also, Coach Brady Morgan is coming up in our next segment. But right now, we're joined by the head coach of Carrington Track and Field, April Berntsen. And, Coach, we always appreciate your time. Maybe this time more than ever, because you guys have been some kind of busy.
That is for sure. We've kind of entered that busy part of the season where we have lots of meets and lots of things that we need to get done. So it's been pretty crazy the last couple weeks.
You know, I'm fascinated by a part of what we see going on right now, and that is you have several multi-sport athletes, and I'm just flashing back to Saturday. It is so incredible to me that Mara Coots can go play a softball game and then come back to Carrington and qualify in the shot put. So I'm curious, how do you go about, balancing these athletes? Because it can't be an easy job.
Well, that is for sure. So, we have quite a few in both softball, and then we also have some in baseball. Softball, a lot of those girls do have the individuals that are throwing. We have jumpers, so those are a little bit easier to work with. When I think about baseball, we have, for example, Josh Bickett, and he is on a lot of our relay teams. So it's definitely kind of been a strategy that we have to find what days he'll be with us to kind of figure out what needs to be ran that day. So that's been a little bit interesting working through some of that. Like you said, Mara had an awesome day on Saturday. She went and played softball. She came back and she was able to qualify in shot put with her best throw, obviously, up until that date. So that was pretty exciting for her.
You guys have a lot of state qualifiers already. I've lost count, but you're the head coach. I'm guessing you have not lost count. How many state qualifiers do you have, and how does that compare with maybe last year where you were at this stage?
Oh, goodness. Well, overall, we have all of our girls relays qualified. So our 4x1, 4x2, 4x8, and 4x4. And we even have a couple versions of those in our girls for the 4x1 and the 4x2. Our boys, we have our 4x1, 4x2. We're still working on that 4x4. That one was kind of a little bit of a heartbreaker on Saturday. We barely missed that one. But then we do have a few different versions of our 4x1, 4x2, which gives us some options moving forward. We also have individuals for pole vaults. We have Mercedes Lara, Sierra Freet was one that we got on Saturday. We have Maddox Davis for our boys. And then we also have, for long jump, we have Maya Nice. We have Ryder, obviously, for pole vault. So it's going pretty quick. It's been nice. We've had at least 2 people or events qualify every meet up until this point, which has been very exciting and also has kind of just kept our momentum going forward into those next meets. We've been super, super lucky this year with our weather. I kind of came in thinking that something was going to eventually happen. We'd get some rainy seasons where we would miss out on a lot of meets. But as of right now, we've only missed one meet, which compared to even the last few years is very, very fortunate. Normally those first 3-4 meets even are canceled, and so it's harder to get those qualifiers in. So it's been nice to kind of spread out our qualifiers and being able to work through it that way.
The head coach of Carrington Track and Field, April Berntsen, joining us. So, Coach, you mentioned that you have several different relay teams that have qualified. Are there rules or limitations on the amount of different relay teams you can put at the state meet?
We will only have just our one for the state meet. So it kind of will just depend on individuals and how we're looking ranking wise, who we send. But yeah, like I said, it's kind of nice that we have quite a few whose times are good enough that we can work through it that way.
And part of the state qualifiers that you have gotten, and nobody is surprised that it is a state qualifier, Ryder Bickett, the defending state champion in the javelin, some jaws dropped when he made the throw he made at the Fargo Elite Meet. Now, you, as a track and field head coach, I'm sure, are being dragged in 20 different directions during a meet. But were you able to watch it? And when he let it go, did your jaw drop and hit the floor?
That was a meet, since it was that Fargo Elite meet, and there were some other events going on just in our school. We didn't have a lot of kids go. So I was really fortunate to just be right there and watch it happen. I was pretty just excited that it happened there, just because we have our Class A schools, we have Minnesota schools, we have Class B, and just to see everyone kind of just stop what they're doing and see it fly was pretty fun. And just watching Ryder's reaction, his dad's reaction, was something that I'll never forget.
And interestingly, he throws 197 at that meet. It's a school record, meet record. 18th best throw in the country at the time. Interestingly, a year ago, he told us he wanted to throw 200, but now that he's done 197, you have a little bit more ambitious goal for him.
Yeah, I honestly think with the way he's going, I think we could get even over that 200. At this point, we don't want to put too much pressure, but with his throw of a 197, and we even had a 195, so we're consistently getting in that. I could see it going more into the 210s, possibly above. We'll see where we end up. We only have a few more meets, but just working on a few more form things, I really think he could get even above what he thinks he can do.
With Ryder able to add 20 from last year to this year, if he did that for 3 more years, he'd be up in the 260s, 270s. I was looking, and those are Olympic-type numbers, like qualifying-type numbers. With the Olympics here in the States in 3 years, do you think that's something that's even crossed his mind?
To be honest, I don't think it has crossed his mind. One thing that I have really appreciated just from Ryder is that he's kind of focused on one thing at a time. So right now he's focused on that 200 goal. Once he gets there, he can focus on something else, but he's not getting a whole bunch of distractions or other kind of dreams in his way right now. So I think right now his focus is, once again, that 200 mark, stayed in a couple weeks. And then after that, I think that's when he'll focus more so on the future.
Well, certainly it's been fun watching him throw the javelin. All right, so you have 3 more regular season meets. You have the Jamestown meet on Friday. They do come thick and fast, by the way. Coach Burnson wasn't lying. Friday, Jamestown. Saturday, Fessenden. Monday, Devil's Lake. First off, I got to say, I don't know if you can't get in a routine with those 3 dates being so close to each other, maybe you can't get in a routine at all. But those 3 meets going into the postseason, do you kind of sit down with the kids and talk about individual goals as you go into these 3 meets before regionals, or are you just looking for that incremental improvement each day?
Especially Friday, Saturday with a back-to-back, it's kind of almost going to be treated more as a prep for states, because at state we do have that multiple days in a row. So we're going to try to kind of lay it out in that state format. We are going to be working on just getting some of our relays some better times so we can get our placement, and then working on some individuals as well. But we'll be kind of sitting down. I'll have some meetings with individuals and just kind of whole teams, just to know what is expected of them within the next few days, because like you said, it is fast and furious. It's not going to be loading kids up with 4 events for each of those meets. It's going to be just doing 2 and focusing on those to see how we can improve going forward there.
The head coach of Carrington Track and Field, April Burnson, joining us. So in terms of goals for you and for your coaching staff, how many more individuals or teams within these meets are you looking to get qualified, and how close are you in those events to getting qualified?
Well, looking at our boys, I mean, we have a couple more just things to qualify even for, like Peyton Harrington. He has been so close on that 200 multiple times within tenths of seconds. So I'd like to see him qualify in that 200. I think that both Peyton and Paxton could get that 300 hurdles. They're both really similar times, and they're both pretty close to that state qualifying mark. As far as relays go, we have our 4x4 for our boys, and they were, like I kind of mentioned earlier, they were just fractions of a second off from that one, so that will be a focus moving forward as well. In other areas, we have Dylan Bachmeyer. He's getting pretty close in both shot put and disc, so that one is one that we'll kind of be looking on and looking forward to and see how he can perform within the next few weeks. We have Parker Bickett. I really think that he will be having some good throws coming up and potentially getting in on that. As far as girls, though, I'm looking, we could maybe get Mara Coots qualified in discus as well. Eden Hornet, we have her in the 800. She's about a second off, so that's something that we can look into. And then just, like I said, kind of improving some of our relay times.
Regionals are May 16th with the alternate date May 17th. And then, of course, state is in Bismarck this year. It's May 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. I don't know if she'll be the busiest person at the state meet, but she's already going to be pretty busy. April Burnson joining us. Coach, congratulations on the season to this point. We'll look forward to more success in this late season, and thanks so much for taking some time.
All right. Thank you so much.
And when we come back, we will have the head coach of Carrington Boys Golf, Brady Morgan, joins the show when the Carrington Coaches Show continues in a moment.
There's no community like a Cenex community. That's why every Cenex store is proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Visit your local Arrowwood Prairie Co-op in Carrington, Wimbledon, Cooperstown, and Sutton.
Carrington sports fans want to stay on top of all the local action? Catch what you missed by checking out the Foster County Independent. From game-changing plays to memorable moments, we've got you covered with the most in-depth sports coverage in town. And don't miss our stunning photo galleries that capture every thrilling moment and winning smile. For the latest scores, stories, and stunning sports shots, grab your copy of the Foster County Independent today or visit us online at fosterconews.com.
Do you want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children from the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at www.dakotacentral.com.
Effortlessly manage your farm fertility with Verify. Verify takes yield data directly from your combine and instantly generates variable rate based on your nutritional goals. Whether it's building soil, balancing nutrition, or maintaining fertility. And with full integration with John Deere Operations Center, Verify can send recommendations directly to application equipment, no matter the color. For more information on Verify, talk to your hefty agronomist and keep your farm moving.
When you're thinking about insurance, think of Bickett Insurance. Bickett Insurance, through our partnership with Auto Owners Insurance, can take care of your farm, home, auto, business, or life insurance needs. The agents of Bickett Insurance have over 115 years of insurance experience. We know how to design policies to protect the things important to you. Give Bickett Insurance a call today.
Bickett, safety,
Is it time for you to switch banks? Hi, I'm Tiffany Paulson from Bank Forward in Carrington. At Bank Forward, we have everything you get from a big bank, but small enough to give you exceptional service. Make the switch and let us show you the Bank Forward difference. Call 652-2852 or visit bankforward.com today. Putting the customer first since 1927. It's simply the forward way. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
Back at Prairie Inn Restaurant and Bakery, it is the Carrington Coaches Show one more time for the 2024-25 school year. The breakfast special, 1 or 2 sausage patties on a biscuit with country gravy. And, of course, the evening special, the breaded coconut shrimp dinner here at Prairie Inn. We go until 8 because we're a little lazier than they are. They go until 9. And that is every day that they're open. They're open until 9. Also open the Carrington boys golf season, and their head coach, Brady Morgan, is joining us. They're getting ready for a meet in Oxbow tomorrow morning, so we promise not to keep you too late so you can get your sleep. But thanks for joining us, and you were saying you've got 22 guys out for golf. That is quite a good number.
Yeah, we actually just had we had a new student arrive today back from Texas, and so we have 23 now. So, yeah, we got 4 seniors and 2 juniors, and then a lot of underclassmen this year.
And that seems to be a common theme in the school. There's a lot more underclassmen than there are seniors and juniors right now. Things always ebb and flow when it comes to that. But who are some of the guys who maybe fans know their names from past years with golf and that you kind of knew before you took the position because, of course, Wayne had been head coach before you were?
Yeah. So so our seniors, so we have Max Butanero. He's been on varsity for a couple years. Gabe Richter, he's been on varsity for a few years, and Callan Garber and Ethan Roller. So those are our 4 seniors. They have quite a bit of experience this year. And then Max Whitman, he's a junior. We just had him on the air a couple minutes ago. He's got quite a bit of experience as well. And so the rest of our varsity guys, we've been kind of mixing and matching this year with different guys that are doing dual sports. And it's been good to see different people step up. But for the rest of them, it's kind of their first year with varsity experience.
We asked Coach Burnson this. Let's ask you that same thing. How do you delicately balance these multi-sport athletes that you have?
It's tough. Yeah, typically, I mean, golf is a little more individual than, say, baseball or running a relay where you're handing off a baton. But, they go to both practices. So usually they come out to, golf after baseball practice. And then, they do both. So typically, they go to a couple baseball games and usually one golf meet in a week. So they're pretty busy.
And it's really unique because if you do have a baseball game and a golf meet the next day, you have to get in and swing because it's a completely different swing, and vice versa. If you have a golf meet and then you've got a baseball game the next day, you better make sure your swing is right. That's a heck of a challenge for a guy like Max or any of these other baseball golf crossovers.
Yeah, I think they handle it pretty well. I think they're closer than most people think. There are a lot of similarities, but they do a really good job with it. So not a lot of issues there.
So far, you're pretty much 2/3 of the way through your season. You'll have a couple meets in Carrington coming up at the end of the month. We'll talk about Oxbow in a minute, but what have you seen so far from the team in your first 6, 7 meets?
Right. We kind of at the start of our year we do a lot of the 9-hole courses in our area, and at the start of the year it's a lot of getting your feel back for a lot of the shots, especially the short game. Sometimes that takes a few weeks. So I really have seen really good steps with that, and we're still making progress of getting the feel around the green with chipping and putting. And even this time of year, the pace of greens, it seems like it's changing every day and getting faster and faster. So that's been good to see that progression. And now we're getting into that part of our schedule where we start getting our qualifiers. First one will be next Friday, and then the following Wednesday, and then regionals. So really starting to get into the kind of the thick of our schedule, I'd say. So.
All right, so that brings up a great question. I know Coach Shipman and Coach Christensen talk all the time about you can't expect to come out hitting the baseball well at the beginning of a year when you haven't been, outside hitting a baseball all year because of the winter. Same sort of thing with golf. How big of an adjustment period is there when you haven't been able to get out and hit? Because maybe more than any other sport, the only way to get better at golf is to golf.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's things you can do inside. You can hit it into a net. You can hit it on a simulator. You can go somewhere and do that, but it's not quite the same, as you said. And one of the things that every year there's just a different feel. Right away in the year we hit off a mat, and that's great. But there's just a little different feel between hitting off a mat versus real grass, and that's usually we don't get to hit off grass even until like the second week of the season. So that's nice. We're getting those reps under our belt now.
Yeah, and the weather for the rest of your season is supposed to be just spectacular. I know as an outdoors sport coach in North Dakota right now, that's music to your ears.
Right. Yeah, we had this weekend was beautiful. We were up in Minot in Des Lacs, and it was absolutely gorgeous on Saturday. That was our first meet that's really been that way. So that was really nice.
Very good. So individually, who has sort of taken over those leadership roles in terms of scoring? Because the program lost Grady Shipman, and he was an individual state qualifier last year. So who has kind of stepped into that role?
Yeah, we have some guys that have had some, like I said, good scores in the past. I know, trying to think our best ones. I know Max has scored. He's shot a 90 at Cooperstown. That was our low that meet. Gabe has had a couple, right, 90 and a 91, I think, right around that same mark. Callan's had one in the lower 90s, and so just all those different guys depending on the day. Ethan had our lowest score. It was either Mayville or Hillsborough. I can't remember which one. So we've actually had a different guy have our low score at least 4 times.
Wow.
So it's kind of all those guys are in the kind of high 80s, low 90s right now, and we're trying to get them where we're low 80s, sneaking into the 79 if we have a good day. That's kind of the where we want to be. We don't have anyone that's going to shoot a 72 this year. That's our reality. But we, as a team, we got a group that can hopefully be in there in the mid 80s. That's right where we want to be.
In terms of looking ahead to the postseason, who are some of your main competitors, be it teams or individuals, for your guys?
Yeah, it's really fun. If anyone's ever watched our region play golf, it's really competitive. Like, we have Oak Grove and Central Cass are 2 of the best teams in the state.
Oak Grove seems to have 200 golfers a year.
Yeah.
And they can all really golf.
Yes, they have 12 that can all shoot under 80 right now.
Oh my goodness.
So it's it's fun to watch. It's competitive. We got some Central Cass has some really good kids. Kindred's got a few that are up there. I know Kyle Campbell's really good for them. Hunter Bindis. So they have 2 that are really solid. Central Cass, Jake Thompson's one of our top. He's one of the best golfers in the area. And then Oak Grove, it's kind of the whole squad is similar. So, and then Jackson Schumacher up in New Rockford's one of the top ones in our region as well. And so, and Hillsborough's got 3 pretty solid guys. And so, well, you'll see like at our region meet in Carrington, our top 15, maybe on a nice day, even 20 will all be breaking 79. So it's a pretty tough region, which is really good to see. Last year, we had 5 teams break 320, which is an average of an 80. So as much as that's just extremely competitive, it's really fun. We get to play really good players, really good courses, and so yeah.
This is not an easy course either.
No.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Boys golf head coach Brady Morgan joining us. So in terms of the rest of the schedule, you've got Oxbow tomorrow. You've got Wildflower coming up next week. Then meet in Mapleton, and then the 2 in Carrington. Take us through these courses. I know that Mapleton is nice. I don't think I know very much about Oxbow or Wildflower.
Yeah, so Oxbow is very south end of Fargo. It's in that's Kindred's home course.
Oh, sure.
That's really nice. It just got redone 9 years ago, and so that's really nice. Water all over it. They have an island green.
Oh,
It's real fancy, and so it's kind of our fancy course in our circuit with little high end. It's honestly it's a privilege for the kids. It's a course you might never get to play again in your life, unless you know somebody. So it's kind of fun for them that way. And then Wildflowers, actually over by Detroit Lakes. That's again a really nice course over there, kind of over by Pelican Lake, if you know where that is. And then our qualifiers. So we go to Mapleton. You may be seeing that along the interstate there. They got that long par 5 with the big green right by the interstate there. But that's a really unique course because the front 9 kind of winds through the trees, and then the back 9 like opens up through the houses. So it's kind of a tale of two nines. Very different setup, and obviously we have home course advantage for regionals in a qualifier, which is really nice. So,
all right, can't let you go without asking you. There's a major next year, next week, the PGA. First off, are you a golf fan? And B, what do you think? Is Rory just going to start winning them all now that he's got the career slam, or is Scotty just going to keep winning them all?
I don't know. They're all so good. I like all those guys. I would say for my PGA purists, they're not going to like this answer, but my favorite golfer is probably Bryson.
Oh, sure, sure.
But I know he's on the Live Tour, so that's probably going to be some people don't like him, but I like all of his content that he puts out. But yeah,
he's entertaining as heck, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so last question for you, because I'm sure the players ask you this all the time. What's the best you've shot here at home?
77.
Whoa.
So
that's really pretty good.
At one time. I'm usually in the 80s, but yeah.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Head coach Brady Morgan joining us from Carrington Boys Golf. Coach, best of luck the rest of the year, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Hour 2. That's right, Hour 2. It's a long show tonight. Hour 2 includes athletics director Carla Michelson, girls volleyball coach, the new one, Caden Maring. Also, when we come back from this break, we'll be joined by Carrington softball head coach Brady Smith. And I had to make sure I didn't slip up because we got Brady Morgan right here and Brady Smith coming up. But I did get that right. Brady Smith joins us after a result that you're going to want to hear about when the Carrington Coaches Show continues in a moment.
There's no community like a Cenex community. That's why every Cenex store is proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Visit your local Arrowwood Prairie Co-op in Carrington, Wimbledon, Cooperstown, and Sutton.
Parents and sports fans want to stay on top of all the local action? Catch what you missed by checking out the Foster County Independent. From game-changing plays to memorable moments, we've got you covered with the most in-depth sports coverage in town. And don't miss our stunning photo galleries that capture every thrilling moment and winning smile. For the latest scores, stories, and stunning sports shots, grab your copy of the Foster County Independent today or visit us online at fosterconews.com.
Do you want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children from the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at www.dakotacentral.com.
Effortlessly manage your farm fertility with Verify. Verify takes yield data directly from your combine and instantly generates variable rate fertility maps based on your nutritional goals. Whether it's building soil, balancing nutrition, or maintaining fertility. And with full integration with John Deere Operations Center, Verify can send recommendations directly to application equipment, no matter the color. For more information on Verify, talk to your hefty agronomist and keep your farm moving.
When you're thinking about insurance, think of Bickett Insurance. Bickett Insurance, through our partnership with Auto Owners Insurance, can take care of your farm, home, auto, business, or life insurance needs. The agents at Bickett Insurance have over 115 years of insurance experience. We know how to design policies to protect the things important to you. Give Bickett Insurance a call today.
Bickett Safety. Bickett Safety.
Is it time for you to switch banks? Hi, I'm Tiffany Paulson from Bank Forward in Carrington. At Bank Forward, we have everything you get from a big bank, but small enough to give you exceptional service. Make the switch and let us show you the Bank Forward difference. Call 652-2852 or visit bankforward.com today. Putting the customer first since 1927. It's simply the forward way. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
The Cardinal is AM 1600 KDAK, Carrington, and FM 100.1 K261EW, Carrington, locally owned and operated by I3G Media.
The Carrington Coaches Show live at Prairie Inn Restaurant and Bakery. One more hour this year here at the show, and we have Carla Michelson coming up in about 45 minutes. In a half hour, the new Carrington volleyball head coach, Caden Merring, will join us. But right now, we are pleased to be joined by the head coach of Carrington softball, and I'm 99% sure that this is going to work, but let's see if it does. Head coach Brady Smith is joining us. Brady, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
And we can hear you well. I have not
Perfect.
spoiled for anyone who did not look on social media. So I'm going to have you tell us, this was a big game today because the winner would clinch a top 3 seed and not have to play next Thursday. And, Coach, how did this one go?
Yeah, that was a huge win for us. We came out on top 13-3 after 5 innings. So, it was just another one of those days where we got to a really hot start. Mark Hoots led us off with a rocket to right field. And, I think we put up a 4 or 5 spot in that first inning just to kind of get ourselves going and back from there.
And this is a Nelson County Mid-Dakota team that came in extremely confident because they had almost gotten Mayport last week, and you guys almost got Mayport as well, but they had hung 11 runs on the Patriots, and you guys, with that big first inning, put them behind the 8 ball, and then as she has done so often this year, Callie just shuts them down.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We knew what we were going to be running into, today, and last year they kind of left a sour taste in our mouth with how we played them last year. We were one play away from winning that game as well, and you could tell that we responded, fantastic to this today. And Callie, another game where she threw a ton of strikes. She kind of got herself out of a tough situation there at the end to end the game, but she grinded through and was able to complete the whole 5 innings. So yeah, they're a solid team. They hit the ball fairly well the first couple innings. Expecting a shootout, but they're just one of those games where we hit the ball just a little bit better than them.
It was pretty windy in New Rockford. Granted, McMill isn't a long way away, but it's fair enough of a distance away. How were the conditions today?
Hot and windy. It was a typical day in North Dakota, but I'd rather take it. I'd rather take this than 45 degrees and windy any day.
100%. There's a reason why we had an agreement with UJ for the season. But as head coach Brady Smith is joining us, so take us through that first inning. This is the first time you've faced Nelson County Mid-Dakota this year, and I'm always impressed that your girls at the top of the order, Mara and Bryn and Callie and Isabel and Cadence, they don't need a scouting report. They're just going to find something on the plate and hit it.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's why they're hitting in the top of the lineup as well. Their job is to get on base for those girls who have a lot of those RBIs throughout the year, and again it showed everyone's timing was on, a lot of hard hit balls, so that's good to see going into the end of the year.
So I found Saturday fascinating because you didn't have a full strength team, but at the same time, Mara Coots had herself quite the day. She scored 2 runs in your game, went over to track and field, and in the shot put qualified for state. What's that conversation like when you're trying to win a game, but afterwards you might have to make your post game talk pretty quick because Mara's got to get back to town.
Yeah, if you ask Mara, I probably changed plans for that game about 3 different times. One day I'm telling her she's throwing, one day I tell her she's going to be in relief, and then the next day it's well, you're not pitching at all. Because it's nice knowing that just how good of an athlete she is, and all these different sports, and knowing that she's up in those at the top of the region in track. It's kind of fun to see her be successful in all those different things. And now I'm really happy that she didn't throw on Saturday because she PR'd and she qualified for state.
The head coach of Carrington softball, Brady Smith, joining us. Coach, I texted with your dad a little while ago, and you guys are going to play Thompson tomorrow. And that, I mean, you know it, I know it, we all know it. That's an awfully good softball program in Thompson. But I just don't get the sense that your girls are all that worried about what jersey the other team is wearing because of how confident they are.
We know what to expect out of Thompson. They've kind of taken it to us the last couple of years, but that doesn't seem to, so far this year that nothing's really seemed to bother our girls. And I think that just comes with experience and knowing how to handle your own emotions, how to handle, adversity, how to handle your confidence in the batter's box and on defense, and just another year of experience, in the batter's box and, pitching and playing defense as well. So I love games like this. No one really expects us to win. So I'm really excited to see what we can do against, a top 5 team like Thompson again.
One of the things that I have found really fun about your team is that last year, everybody knows that Callie Hewitt is a supremely confident athlete. And last year it was a case of her teammates going, man, I sure wish I had that kind of confidence. They would look at her with sort of that look. This year, that confidence has spread. I mean, your girls are always very loose, but very focused before the game. And there's really not a whole lot of doubt in their mind. And we talk about leadership a lot. That is one way to be a leader, isn't it? Spread that confidence all over the place.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And it's contagious from one person to the next too. And like you said, it just seems like this year there's a little more, and again I think it just comes with experience too. There's kind of a different vibe before every game. It's loose, but yet they're locked in and focused. And they take things seriously when they have to. Not that we don't take things seriously all the time, but it's important to have some fun too. Like that's how you have to make it fun and interesting, every single day. So they always find a way to make things fun, yet staying locked in and focused each and every day.
The head coach of Carrington softball, Brady Smith, joining us. So towards the back end of this season now, you've got Thompson tomorrow. You've got midseason madness this weekend, and then you will not have a Thursday game now next week. You'll go directly to Saturday. Could you give us an idea of what the North looks like? Because in the South, you're now guaranteed a top 3 seed, and if you win tomorrow, things can get really nice and messy. But what does the North look like this year?
From what I know, we've beat a couple of the North teams already, but anything can happen come tournament time. So it's always important to be locked in and focused this time of year. But from what I know, I'm assuming that PCN will probably be the 1 seed, and that's a team that we haven't had scheduled yet this year. 2 through 4, could be a complete toss up. If I were a betting man, I would say that maybe Midway Minto would be a 2 seed. Maybe up between Grafton and Langdon for the 3 or 4. I was actually pretty impressed with how much Midway Minto had, kind of progressed from the last couple of years, and from what their coach told me, they were missing a couple girls as well. So, that's a team that we could potentially run into. But whatever happens tomorrow, it could be also a different story for us.
Your girls have talked about playing Midway Minto, and that they don't feel like they have seen a pitcher that spins it quite like the young lady they saw from Midway Minto, and yet your team still scored 15 runs. So clearly, uh, your team can hit different types of pitching. That's got to be a positive going forward.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, the more games, seeing different, velocities, whether somebody throws a little bit slower, a little bit faster, it just kind of seems like we're able to adjust a little bit, faster in the game. That Mayport game, I feel like we had a harder time adjusting to their pitcher throughout the game. It seems like our timing was off. We didn't have a lot of solid contact. But since then it seems like it's been a lot better, and I hope it continues to go that way.
What would you make of the season to this point? Because you guys are above 500 overall, and that hasn't happened in the short history of the program. You've got a great shot at finishing 500 overall, and you've only got the one region loss, and that was a game to Mayport where you're down by 2 in the 6th inning, and you don't have Isabel because she's qualifying for state track. I mean, what have you made of this season?
I am extremely happy, when we don't have our full team, with Isabel. She is obviously a huge impact in how a game can turn out. I talk with, my dad a lot, and, she could be a 4-run swing some days, but it's also great to see some of those younger girls step up and gain that experience. Girls like Ella, Kennedy, Gemma, Brooklyn, all those different girls who have been able to step up for us in important games and compete and do well with it. So not only am I happy for our team, not only this year but looking to the future as well.
Yeah, you guys have done an incredible job, and sometimes it happens by accident, sometimes it's intentional. Either way, it doesn't matter whether it's intentional or not. You guys have created some very nice depth.
Yeah, and that's the importance of gaining girls to go for softball too. Not only do you see higher numbers here in Carrington, but it seems like every team that we play, they have 20 some girls out for softball. So anything can happen when you get girls out to to play a sport and just give them another opportunity to succeed in something other than basketball, volleyball, track. So it just yeah, it just gives a lot of different girls opportunities to succeed outside of those other sports.
So speaking of opportunity, boy, do you get one this weekend. I know you're focused on Thompson, but this mid-season madness event is where you guys kind of took off as a program a year ago, and you face Ray on Friday and then either Ned Rose or Northern Cass Saturday morning. How much are you guys looking forward to that and really excited to be a part of it again?
Yeah, it's always a fun tournament. You get to see a lot of really good teams play softball, and you get to play some good teams, which is great, especially before the regional tournament. It's always important to play some of those better teams. Going into the most important time of the year. So it feels like one of the girls is always talking about it every single day, and it is a lot of fun. Just seems like almost every team in the state gives the girls a chance to hang out, team bond with each other in the hotel, and just get a chance to play some teams that you're not normally used to playing. So I know I'm looking forward to it, and the girls are looking forward to it.
And we will have video coverage of it all weekend on
That's right.
KDAK The Cardinal and on this here YouTube channel. The head coach Brady Smith joining us. Coach, congratulations again. And when we come back, we're going to be joined by Bryn Smith after a good performance today, a 13-3 win over Nelson County Midkota that clinches a top 3 spot in the South. We'll talk to Bryn about that and about her development as a first baseman when the Carrington Coaches Show continues in a moment.
There's no community like a Cenex community. That's why every Cenex store is proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Visit your local Arrowwood Prairie Co-op in Carrington, Wimbledon, Cooperstown, and Sutton.
Parents and sports fans, want to stay on top of all the local action? Catch what you missed by checking out the Foster County Independent. From game-changing plays to memorable moments, we've got you covered with the most in-depth sports coverage in town. And don't miss our stunning photo galleries that capture every thrilling moment and winning smile. For the latest scores, stories, and stunning sports shots, grab your copy of the Foster County Independent today or visit us online at fosterconews.com.
Do you want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children from the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at www.dakotacentral.com.
Effortlessly manage your farm fertility with Verify. Verify takes yield data directly from your combine and instantly generates variable rate fertility maps based on your nutritional goals. Whether it's building soil, balancing nutrition, or maintaining fertility. And with full integration with John Deere Operations Center, Verify can send recommendations directly to application equipment, no matter the color. For more information on Verify, talk to your hefty agronomist and keep your farm moving.
When you're thinking about insurance, think of Bickett Insurance. Bickett Insurance, through our partnership with Auto Owners Insurance, can take care of your farm, home, auto, business, or life insurance needs. The agents at Bickett Insurance have over 115 years of insurance experience. We know how to design policies to protect the things important to you. Give Bickett Insurance a call today.
Bickett, safety. City.
Is it time for you to switch banks? Hi, I'm Tiffany Paulson from Bank Forward in Carrington. At Bank Forward, we have everything you get from a big bank, but small enough to give you exceptional service. Make the switch and let us show you the Bank Forward difference. Call 652-2852 or visit bankforward.com today. Putting the customer first since 1927. It's simply the forward way. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
Carrington Coaches Show rolling on this Monday evening at Prairie Inn Restaurant and Bakery. And as we mentioned in our previous segment, Carrington a 13-3 5-inning win over Nelson County, Dakota in McBill. And their first baseman, Bryn Smith, joins us after going 1 for 3 with a single and 2 runs scored. Bryn, congratulations. That's a very big win. It means that you guys don't have to play in the play-in game. Congratulations. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. There you are. I know the service in McBill right now is not ideal. But Bryn, what did you make of the game today? Sounds like you guys jumped out early and didn't really give them any reason to think they could win it.
So good. We had a few hits that really just got us going, and I think that just carried on from there.
Yeah, what about that? Because you're a very energetic softball team. It's one of the things I like about being around you guys before games. You're very energetic, and when you start a game by getting a bunch of hits, that only helps, right?
Yeah, Coach always says hitting is contagious, so I think once people get going, we all get it.
How much did you and your teammates want revenge on Nelson County, Dakota after the way that it ended last year against them?
Yeah, we always are down bad for a win after losing to a team, and I think that was just a really meaningful game, specifically how they're a region team. So I think that just really gave us some grit to defeat them.
Bryn Smith is joining us. She is the first baseman this season for Carrington. And that's where I want to take this next question, Bryn. How much first base had you played before this year? And then what has that sort of been like, learning the position and getting to the point where you're pretty good at it?
Yeah, this is my first year playing first. It's definitely a lot different, but I think I'm a lot more comfortable there. I learned a lot from Coach, and I put that out on the field. You just have to be confident. No.
Yeah, you made that play last week against Larimore where you were going into the dugout and you made the sliding catch. You have to be pretty confident as a
Yep.
first
Yeah.
baseman to be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I always land on my knees when I catch a pop fly, and I don't really know why. I don't think I really need to slide there, but
Are there any similarities? Like last year, you played a lot of third base. In any way, does that help you over at first?
yeah, it's just yeah. I
Uh,
I mainly I mainly played second last year, and a
That's
little bit
right.
of short. Yep.
That's right. You did play second. I forgot about
Yeah.
that. The one game
Yeah.
I saw you play third was track and field day. That's right. So I mean,
That was the one time I have.
so you guys obviously had big expectations coming into this season. Are you meeting your expectations as a group of girls? Never mind Brady, but your own expectations. Have you met them so far?
Yeah, I think we're definitely peaking at the right time for sure. And
So
I think we just keep putting the bat on the ball, and we're doing the right things.
Bryn Smith is joining us, and again, you'll apologize if sometimes it or you'll understand if it drops out because Bryn and the team are still in McVille, and it's not the greatest signal in McVille, North Dakota. Bryn, want to ask you about the region to this point. You guys played Mayport awfully good. You're going to get to see Thompson tomorrow. What have you made of the region so far this year?
What was that? You cut out a little bit.
What have you made of the competition within the region this year? You guys played Mayport really well, and you've got Thompson tomorrow.
Yeah, that will also be a big one. I think we can. Uh, just show something for us.
Yeah, and
We did today. It'll be good.
and you guys probably feel pretty confident going into the postseason, knowing that you were within 2 runs of Mayport in the 6th inning on a day where Isabel was at track. I mean, you guys got to be feeling awfully good.
Yeah, I think we all have confidence, and we all know we can.
Bryn Smith is joining us, and again, the signal is failing us badly in McVille. So I tell you what, we're gonna go ahead and let Bryn go and enjoy the rest of her evening. Bryn, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck tomorrow against Thompson.
Yes, thank you.
Bryn Smith joining us. We can go on for a few more minutes because we still have Athletic Director Carla Michelson stopping by and new Carrington Volleyball head coach Caden Maring is stopping by. But really, when you look at the Cardinals softball season to this point, it's really interesting because they haven't lost to anything close to a bad team. They've lost twice to Velva, who has turned out to be a lot better than they were last year when they got to a state semifinal and lost to Kindred Richland, who ended up winning the state championship. They're a lot better than they were last year. Also, they've lost to Mayport CG. They've beaten teams like Central McLean. They've put it okay, I don't want to be rude, but they kind of put it on the teams that you expect them to put it on if they're going to be a serious state tournament threat, and they are a serious state tournament threat. They've beaten Langdon rather handily. They've beaten Larimore rather handily. They beat Central McLean in that crazy game in Turtle Lake, 20-11. They beat Grafton. They've only got the 4 losses on the year. The other one is Saturday to Harvey Wells County. And I mean, listen to these numbers in their wins: 15, 13, 20, 23, 15, 12. They score in bunches. So this is going to be really interesting to see what it looks like tomorrow. Thompson's really good. They beat Mayport CG 24-13. Thompson's really good. They're probably the favorites in the region. But I just don't think it matters to the Carrington girls because they're supremely confident. They then have Ray on Friday night. We'll have it for you 6:45 right here on YouTube and on KDAK the Cardinal. Saturday morning, Nedros or Northern Cass. Those are two teams that have kind of been sniffing around the top 10 throughout the course of the season. And then they'll have another game on Saturday. Monday, they play Harvey Walls County at home, and that's it for the regular season. They'll be in action a week from Saturday. We don't know where, we don't know when, because the North Division has to figure itself out in terms of the seeding. And frankly, tomorrow has to sort itself out. Carrington has to figure out whether they're going to be the 2 seed, the 1 seed, or the 3 seed. We know they're guaranteed of a top 3 seed, but we don't know what the seed is going to be. All right, it's called the Carrington Coaches Show, not the Carrington Play-by-Play Guys Show. So we're going to take another break. We're going to get a couple extra minutes with the new head coach of Carrington Volleyball. I'll tell her just how early in the process everyone had targeted her for this job because, well, we'll get to the story when we come back. Trust me, you're going to like it when the Carrington Coaches Show continues in a moment.
There's no community like a Cenex community. That's why every Cenex store is proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Visit your local Arrowwood Prairie Co-op in Carrington, Wimbledon, Cooperstown, and Sutton.
Carrington sports fans want to stay on top of all the local action? Catch what you missed by checking out the Foster County Independent. From game-changing plays to memorable moments, we've got you covered with the most in-depth sports coverage in town. And don't miss our stunning photo galleries that capture every thrilling moment and winning smile. For the latest scores, stories, and stunning sports shots, grab your copy of the Foster County Independent today or visit us online at fosterconews.com.
Do you want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children from the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at www.dakotacentral.com.
Effortlessly manage your farm fertility with Verify. Verify takes yield data directly from your combine and instantly generates variable rate fertility maps based on your nutritional goals. Whether it's building soil, balancing nutrition, or maintaining fertility. And with full integration with John Deere Operations Center, Verify can send recommendations directly to application equipment, no matter the color. For more information on Verify, talk to your hefty agronomist and keep your farm moving.
When you're thinking about insurance, think of Bickett Insurance. Bickett Insurance, through our partnership with Auto Owners Insurance, can take care of your farm, home, auto, business, or life insurance needs. The agents of Bickett Insurance have over 115 years of insurance experience. We know how to design policies to protect the things important to you. Give Bickett Insurance a call today.
Bickett Agency. Yes. Get city to city.
Is it time for you to switch banks? Hi, I'm Tiffany Paulson from Bank Forward in Carrington. At Bank Forward, we have everything you get from a big bank, but small enough to give you exceptional service. Make the switch and let us show you the Bank Forward difference. Call 652-2852 or visit bankforward.com today. Putting the customer first since 1927. It's simply the forward way. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
Carrington Coaches Show rolling on at Prairie Inn Restaurant and Bakery, which is, at least today, a restaurant right after my heart and my gut because they've got pizza dippers as today's special, and those are just fantastic. Now, you'll recall in November that the Carrington volleyball program underwent a change. Megan Troutman getting her master's in the spring, getting married towards the end of the summer. she took a step back. She's still teaching because, as I understand it, art teachers are really hard to find in North Dakota. So she stuck around for that. But the story that I was telling you goes a little something like this. Megan told me the night before the third place game, and she said, please hold it until I tell the team, whatever. The next thing out of her mouth was, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to get Caden Maring to take this job. And sure enough, guess who's with us on May 5th? Carrington volleyball head coach Caden Maring. Congratulations.
Thanks for having me.
At what point did you know that Megan was leaving?
She told us right before that game too. She
Yeah.
just said that this is actually my last game. She wasn't gonna tell the team until we had a team meeting, so
Yep.
I knew that night as well.
Yep. So I'm not telling anybody anything they don't already know, but you played here, you played at the University of Jamestown, then you came back. Safe to say, volleyball has been a pretty important part of your life.
Yeah, yep, for sure. Volleyball has taught me not only like life skills. I mean, my time playing at Jamestown, Coach Hagerly really taught me so much about volleyball, but also all about life skills, which I also hope to bring to the table here at Carrington. But yeah, it's been a big part of my life, and I hope it stays that way for a long time.
All right, before we dive into more Carrington, and I promise we will, I keep telling my friends in the NSIC, I have a lot of them, you have no idea what you just signed up for with University of Jamestown volleyball. They're like a top 4 team in that league on day one.
Yeah, it's awesome. He has done a really good job with that program.
He certainly has. All right, so you came back as an assistant last year. Everything I heard over the fall was it's such a different voice. It's from such a different perspective because she's played this game at such a high level. You have to be a high level player to play at the University of Jamestown. What was it like being an assistant coach for a program that's really good here?
It was awesome. I loved working with Megan. Obviously, she knows what she's doing, but it was nice that she was able to allow me to also bring in what I've learned through my time playing at Jamestown and actually coaching with Sarah Hagerly, John's wife. She also taught me so much. So just between the two of them and Megan trusting me to bring in some of those aspects that I've learned, it was awesome.
That was something that she talked about a lot is she was able to delegate more and let you kind of teach it in a different way. That must be really empowering for an assistant coach to know, you know what, the head coach trusts me. I can do this.
Yeah, for sure.
So take us through the process. Did you always want the job, or was there some negotiating that Megan had to do? And at what point did you think, okay, it's time to take over?
Right when she told me, obviously there's thoughts like, oh my gosh, I really want this, but I didn't like, I don't know, I was always scared because I'm like, I'm only 24 years old, but I think right away when she told me, I was like, okay, I'm ready. I want it. This has always been my dream, especially coming back to Carrington and just having the opportunity. That was a dream itself.
So when did you find out that you were going to be the head coach, and what was your reaction in that moment?
I think I found out like in January and I was just kind of shocked because like I said, it's always been my dream. So just seeing that dream turn into reality, it's amazing.
Well, you've got a nice, easy job. It's just 3 class volleyball, nothing to it. It's Carrington. But what do you, on a more serious tone with it, what do you make of 3 class volleyball now that it's not just this idea, it's actually here?
Right. I think just seeing it through like the eyes of basketball fans and basketball players, I like it. It's gonna be different just because we'll play some different teams and I'm just excited for the opportunities it brings and we're up for the challenge, so I'm excited.
Yeah, you look at this schedule, and when Carla sent it to me, I had to a double take isn't right. I had to do like a quadruple take because so much of this is so completely different. Um, it very much looks like a three-class volleyball schedule,
Yeah, for
though,
sure.
in terms of who you're playing. Who is in, for those who don't know, who is in Region 2 with you guys?
Northern Cass, Grafton, Hillsboro, Harvey, Devil's Lake, Thompson, Harvey, is Turtle
In
Mountain,
Turtle
and
Mountain,
Turtle
yep,
Mountain.
yep. So it looks like, I know they had the option. It looks like Four Winds Minnewacan separated and stayed both schools Class B rather than doing what they do in basketball,
Right.
coming together and playing Class A. Um, what was your first reaction when you saw the schedule? Because you guys have a very rich history of scheduling tough and dealing with whatever comes along with that.
Yeah.
This is a tough schedule.
Yeah, it was a shock for sure just because we're used to playing like Lemoore, Edgeley, like that area. So it was so like weird seeing the new teams that we'll play, but I'm excited.
Um, what do you make of your region? I mean, Devil's Lake is it's no smaller a school for volleyball than it is basketball. It's still a
Right.
big school. Thompson, now you guys went over to Thompson and very impressive last year what you did over there. But then you've got um, Mayport, always a good program. What do you make of the teams in the region?
Like I said, I'm just excited for the opportunity just to play them, but I'm more excited for the opportunity that the girls have and just we're up for the challenge no matter who we play. It's just exciting to watch them get on that court and play the game that they love.
And it's going to be a much different team than it
Right.
was this
Yep.
last year. You lose players like Cadence and Isabel and Eden. Um, Not easy to replace them, but I'm sure you saw it in practice. Those young players, the Harper Colemans of the world, really turned into nice players by the end of the
Yes,
year.
we got some really good girls coming back and they work really hard. They definitely put in the time and energy it takes to be successful volleyball players.
Yeah, and unless it's different from basketball, you'll only have like one or two seniors next
Hmm.
year. So it will, well, kind of from a leadership standpoint, it'll have to be a group effort. I know coaches like that when it's not just one or two
Right. I
leaders
think
and
we
it's
have
everybody.
3.
Yeah. So, in terms of your coaching staff, do you think you'll have Christy back?
Christy is actually not coming back either.
Okay.
So,
So you're going to have a whole new staff.
yep,
Do you have any idea who you might have yet? Not yet?
we
Maybe?
have one,
You have one.
but we're still looking for another one.
All right, very good. So, on the subject of assistants, what sort of things did you learn from Megan when you were an assistant that now you'll be able to put forth as the leader of a program?
Right. Um, Megan's very good at like vocalizing things to the girls and putting it in a perspective that, they'll understand. And she's very energetic. So I'm excited to use what she's taught me and just watching her coach and use that when I coach.
Is it more fun or more stressful knowing the expectations of the program? I mean, you played in it. Carrington volleyball has been good for a long
Right.
time. Is it more terrifying or more fun to know that that's kind of the standard?
I think it's more fun just because I've always been a part of a program that's, expected or has high expectations. So it's really fun just knowing that the girls know those high expectations. And like I said, they're willing to work really hard. So I'm excited and it'll be so fun.
All right, you probably don't actually know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask anyway. September 2nd, you open at Rugby. What on earth is going through your mind the morning of September 2nd?
I don't know. I'm sure there will be some nerves, but like I said, I've been a assistant coach for 2 years now, so just taking it one step ahead a little bit, and yeah, just all excitement towards being a head volleyball coach.
Yeah, and you guys are part of the Valley City tournament. You get to go back. I know your girls really like going to Delax Burlington
Yep.
because that is high level volleyball.
Mhm.
That is high competition volleyball. And then, of course, you got your tournament as well. These are good tournaments to be a part of too.
Right, and I love like the Laker invite just because that's also a chance for the girls to team bond and build those teammate relationships.
Well, the Cardinals open on the 2nd. The regionals are slated for November 10th, 11th, and 13th. We think there probably will be something on. There is something. We have it confirmed that they are doing what they do in basketball, which is a state qualifying day on November 15th. I think they call them challenge games. And so that is there's a lot of basketball people that think that's the number one thing they got right in basketball, having that day. And I know you're excited about having that for volleyball.
Yeah, I think that's just another opportunity to, at least get one more game in, but also have a chance to make it to state. So I love that day.
And I think we like it even more after, Carrington won a basketball
For
game on
sure.
that day this last year. Caden Maring joining us, the brand new, although we all know the Marings, the brand new volleyball coach here at Carrington High School. Congratulations again. We're pumped for you. I know I was as excited as anybody when Megan said we got to get her to be the head coach. So congratulations, and we'll be bothering you a lot more in the fall.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Caden Maring joining us. When we come back, we've got a sort of year in review, look ahead to the fall. What do we make of some of this realignment stuff that doesn't make any sense because technically Region 2 is changing in basketball? We've got that and a special announcement coming from Carrington Athletic Director and Dean of Students, Carla Michelson, when the Carrington Coaches Show continues in a moment.
There's no community like a Cenex community. That's why every Cenex store is proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Visit your local Arrowwood Prairie Co-op in Carrington, Wimbledon, Cooperstown, and Sutton.
Carrington sports fans want to stay on top of all the local action? Catch what you missed by checking out the Foster County Independent. From game-changing plays to memorable moments, we've got you covered with the most in-depth sports coverage in town. And don't miss our stunning photo galleries that capture every thrilling moment and winning smile. For the latest scores, stories, and stunning sports shots, grab your copy of the Foster County Independent today or visit us online at fosterconews.com.
Do you want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children from the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at www.dakotacentral.com.
Effortlessly manage your farm fertility with Verify. Verify takes yield data directly from your combine and instantly generates variable rate fertility maps based on your nutritional goals. Whether it's building soil, balancing nutrition, or maintaining fertility. And with full integration with John Deere Operations Center, Verify can send recommendations directly to application equipment, no matter the color. For more information on Verify, talk to your hefty agronomist and keep your farm moving.
When you're thinking about insurance, think of Bickett Insurance. Bickett Insurance, through our partnership with Auto Owners Insurance, can take care of your farm, home, auto, business, or life insurance needs. The agents at Bickett Insurance have over 115 years of insurance experience. We know how to design policies to protect the things important to you. Give Bickett Insurance a call today.
Bickett, safety.
Is it time for you to switch banks? Hi, I'm Tiffany Paulson from Bank Forward in Carrington. At Bank Forward, we have everything you get from a big bank, but small enough to give you exceptional service. Make the switch and let us show you the Bank Forward difference. Call 652-2852 or visit bankforward.com today. Putting the customer first since 1927. It's simply the forward way. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
Carrington Coaches Show here on KDAK the Cardinal and on the YouTube channel. We've got a special surprise for our hosts coming up here in just a little while, but we are joined by the Dean of Students and the Athletic Director of Carrington High School, and that is Carla Michelson. And the most important question we will ask you all night is this one. A year ago, we were having discussions and whatnot, and you said, I'm sad about leaving the teaching, but I am excited about, taking on the more administrative role. A year later, how have you enjoyed it?
It's been going really well. Like I said, I still miss the classroom. Did it for 34 years, but this has brought me a lot of different opportunities to look into more things as far as the athletic director position, and now having the student council positions and things like that, and a bunch of other things. But yeah, it's opened up a lot of things. It's been really nice.
And you probably don't have much downtime anymore.
No, it's crazy, but it's been fun. I love it. I love the job.
So let's look at this year in review. You had girls basketball make it to state. We're about to have, I don't know, half the school at the state track meet. It seems like
Yeah, they're doing well.
with how successful they're going. You had boys basketball win 10 more games than they did a year ago. Football make the playoffs again. It's been a good year for Carrington athletics.
It has. Our coaches and our athletes have done a great job. Persistent, resilient, a great group of kids and coaches.
And the good thing about it is, I know we just talked new coach and whatnot, but there's not a ton of turnover. Like, you've worked with Wayne for 25 years, Andy for probably all 30 years. I mean, the camaraderie that you guys have is really cool, and it's palpable around here.
It is. Yeah, I am very fortunate that way. And we do still have some openings for assistant positions and so on. So if anybody's interested, contact me or Mrs. Helm, and we'll look to see if we can't get you a job.
So on that note, quickly, is there a timetable that you guys like to have everything done by on that front, like boys basketball coach, assistant coaches, things of that nature?
Yeah, one of the things that I ask, and actually I sent out an email today, checking with the coaches that are still planning on coaching next year, just to make sure, and then we can get those things in place. And it's always nice to get it done by the end of the school year, and then with camps coming up in the summertime and so on, that we have all those people in that place.
Absolutely. So there are a lot of changes coming next year. We just talked to Caden, and that's the big one with three-class volleyball coming in. I know if, well, let me not assume anything. Was it hard to put together a schedule when it's so different than what you're used to?
Uh, it wasn't too bad. What I did this last school year is our varsity tournament, which we've had the same teams for years and years. I turned that one over to Division A, so we had all Division A schools in that tournament. So those teams, with the exception of one that something came up but is in it this year or for the next school year. So that was kind of nice to get that going, and those teams appreciated it too, that it was division A. So it wasn't bad. I mean, we're in a great spot for a lot of schools out west and so on, for teams to come to Carrington. So it works out pretty well.
I have to commend you guys because every basketball team that was here for the holiday class, they loved it. And I know they loved it because their JVs got to play,
Yes.
but they loved coming to Carrington.
Yep.
All of them said they'll come back.
Yep, they are coming back.
So that's awesome.
Yep.
So the other big change, and it's been a little confusing, makes sense. The NDHSAA allowed everyone to stay where they were in basketball, but that's not wholeheartedly the case in the sense that Region 2 is going to grow in basketball
Correct.
next year with Harvey Wells County and Mayport CG. And you were telling me that is completely based on enrollment.
Yes, it is. I mean, yeah, and I mean, we could go back and forth a little bit with, should have a few teams have moved up. They didn't. The committee voted against that, so it is what it is. So we just play on.
And that's part of the thing that I know the folks who were kind of saying, hey, we don't need to rush into three-class basketball, they brought up as a concern. Like,
Yep.
guys, 2 years is not a lot of time.
Right.
Like, if we're going to come back 2 years from now and say, well, this doesn't work, let's take our time. We don't have to go a million miles an hour. Now we'll see what it looks like going forward. I don't know what the decisions mean for the future.
Right. We've been told that they're going to set up a committee and they're going to be looking at that because I think one of the reasons why, schools chose the three-class system was with that success formula as part of it, and that some, teams would be possibly moving up. So they said they would look into it, and hopefully, they do.
Hopefully they do indeed. And then, of course, um, new school year, you're going to have another season in that beautiful football facility, and there's genuine excitement about the football season. I think it comes for two reasons. One, there's a lot of returning starters, but two, Central Cass is gone. Kindred's gone. Velva graduated their whole team. Killdeer graduated their whole team. There's a real chance to get to the Dome this fall.
Yeah, it is. And Coach Smith and his staff do a great job. And yeah, we're excited for it.
Well, that leads us into an announcement, and a very important one, a very exciting one for us, because we are going to be a very big part of not just football, but all the sports beginning in the fall.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So KDAK will be our new streaming online for all our sports, activities, and so on. So we're looking forward to that partnership with you guys.
And that doesn't mean much changes. We're still going to talk to the kids. Might even hand them the microphone. They got real brave by the end of the year. Might
That's
even
awesome.
hand
They,
them.
and I think that's great for them, public speaking and so on. So I think that was been a beneficial thing for them too.
And it all will actually begin with that first volleyball match, the home one with Hillsborough Central Valley on September 4th. That'll be the first of back-to-back days with home events here on KDAK the Cardinal. And one of the big things is they say it takes a village. It certainly does.
It does. And I guess I just wholeheartedly want to thank all the volunteers who help us from the fall to our cross country meets, to our volleyball tournaments, to basketball tournaments, right now track meets. We have a chance to have our workers work where coaches can coach when they come to our meet. So a huge thank you to all of our volunteers who help out from the fall all the way to the end of the spring. You don't know how much that means to me, our staff, and our administration. We appreciate you.
So getting back to some of the changes for next year, I see you do have it written down. So who will be in Carrington's volleyball and basketball uh, regions next year? Because I think some people, I mean, it's easy to get confused with a lot of change. What do we know about that?
Okay, so for volleyball, it'll be Carrington, Thompson, Grafton, Harvey Wells County, Mayport CG, Devils Lake, and Hillsborough Central Valley. And then those 7 plus 4 wins will be in the basketball regions.
Interesting. I was curious if the two teams moving up might force Hillsborough back out east, but it looks like we kept them. And what that does in basketball, by the way, there's not going to be any more buys. Everybody's going to play on the Monday of the regional tournament.
Correct.
And then with volleyball, it looks like there will be one bye, but
right. So there'll be 3 matches each day.
3 matches each day.
Yeah.
And 4 wins in Minnewacan, just so people don't get too confused. They had the option to stay separate and stay Class B in volleyball, and that's what they chose to do.
Correct.
Yep. Just from an information standpoint, is there anything we're missing? Because I know you're a lot busier than we are.
No, I think you hit it. It's we're looking forward. Not wishing the time away yet. We got with postseason coming up and so on. But a school year always brings new beginnings and everything else. So we're looking forward to it. And again, I'd like to plug. We do have some open positions. You can go on our homepage for assistant positions. So just get a hold of myself or Mrs. Helm if you're interested in any of those positions.
I will say it is going to be awfully strange. I know he'll probably still be at games. It's going to be awfully strange not having Coach Pickett stressing about a kid on the field in the fall.
Yeah. Yep. Again, like I said, change. I think change is good, and Coach Pickett did a great job for us both on the football and basketball court. So, yeah, he'll be missed.
Absolutely, he will. Well, Carla, thanks so much for doing this. We are excited, just as excited as you are. I told Lynn, our general manager, I told her after, the word had come down, I said, it's like being in middle school, and you ask the uh, companion that you know is out of your league on a date, knowing full well she's going to say no. And then she says yes, and now you have work to do. So now we have work to do to get ready for the streaming deal and everything. But we're very excited about it. Thanks so much for partnering on this, and thanks so much for the time.
Yeah, and BJ, thanks to you and KDAK for covering our sports and activities. And like I said, I think it's been great for kids to get on the mic. That public speaking is a wonderful thing that will take them a long way. So thank you guys for all your support.
Absolutely. All right, we've got one more thing to do. She's sitting over there. She's not going to sit over there anymore. Come on up here, Ray. I'm going to tell you guys a story. I'm in a storytelling mood tonight, obviously. I'm going to tell you guys a story. In August, Jess, our sales rep at KDAK, and myself came in to talk to Ray about hosting this show. And I will never forget that conversation because it was filled with life lessons, literally. Ray said, you know what? In life, it's kind of like running a restaurant. You try something, and if people like it, they keep asking for it. But they'll never ask for it if you don't like it. So, yeah, I'll host the Carrington Coaches Show. Why not? Let's see if people liked it. Turns out they did. And Ray, I just wanted to get you on camera and thank you for giving us a chance to do this school year. This has been really cool. Empty room, full room, it doesn't matter. The coaches that I've talked to have loved it. Just the perfect spot for a show like this. And so we want to say to you, thank you so much.
We're glad to have you.
Well, and we're glad to be here. We're not going to make her put on the headset. That's okay. And they're open until 9. We've told you that all evening. You got the omelet special, the breakfast special, the sandwich special, the evening special. That's every day. And then a daily special every day. I'm kind of giving away too much of the game here, but Ray knows she's still going to see me because I love this place. Getting my breakfast combo that I get here, but Ray, we are so appreciative. Thank you very much for letting us do this. All right, we are going to wrap it up. Don't forget, tomorrow, 4:15 for Cardinal Baseball in Wishock against South Border. David Burrell has that one for you. And then Friday, a triple header on KDAK, the Cardinal. 2 baseball, 1 softball. They're all on the YouTube page. And Saturday, 2 more on YouTube from Fargo Midseason Madness Softball. My thanks to Carla Michelson, to Ray as well, also to Caden Maring, Bryn Smith, Brady Morgan. I'm going to get this. Max Whitman, and Wayne Shipman. They all stopped by tonight. We thank them for that. And thank you for joining us for the Carrington Coaches Show.
Thank you for joining us for the Carrington Coaches Show, live from the Prairie Inn in Carrington on KDAK The Cardinal and the KDAK The Cardinal YouTube page. If you missed this or any other Carrington Coaches Show, you can always go back and listen to the KDAK podcast page at newsdakota.com and on the KDAK The Cardinal YouTube page. The proceeding has been a presentation of I3G Media Sports.
There's no community like a Cenex community. That's why every Cenex store is proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we